Hello everybody, welcome back to SnowRunner, my hard mode challenge. It is 2 AM in game, so it's pitch black, and in this episode we're going to focus on doing each of the 3 time trials at least once. One of them I've already done, which is why it doesn't show as a contest in the map, because I've done it but I failed it and I got a silver instead of a gold, so I'm going to try it again. The one I'm going to do first is the food delivery. I'm going to do it in the dark because I think this one's okay to do in the dark. And then I've positioned the Chevy Scout at the starting point of the scouting one. And I don't want to do that one in the dark because that has an interesting constraint that you have to remain in cab view. And if you toggle out of cab view to look at where you're going in third person, it will fail the task. And you only get 3 attempts. So I want to do that one in the daylight. So this one is basically to deliver food from the farm where I am parked with the Fleet Star. So 2 units of consumables. So when I say food, I mean consumables. Deliver 2 lots, two units of cargo to the drilling site within 6 minutes to get gold. To keep some tension for myself, I am not going to have a timer or anything running. I'm just going to do this blind, and because it's more exciting. I'm going to preload the cargo, which is a concession I'm allowing myself. The constraints of this, the usual constraints, I think, no recovery, no truck change, and no garage stop. But you also have to do less than 200 damage to your vehicle while you're doing the time trial. So you don't have, drive it like you stole it and you might fail. So my route is going to be past the fuel station, up the road. We're going to drive to here, and then we're going to hang a left and go down across country to here, across our bridge that we repaired previously, and deliver. And that route hopefully is fairly easily doable in 6 minutes. Yeah, I think this is a reasonable thing. I'm in the Fleet Star. I've taken the crane off as recommended in one of the comments because it does make the vehicle a bit lighter, and I'm not, for the purposes of these contests, I'm not going to be doing crane loading of cargo. I'm just going to accept the fact that I'll auto load the consumables. So I'm going to pay the 300 to load 2 units of consumables. So that's the truck, more or less fueled up and ready to go. So I'm going to pull into the time trial start box and we're going to do it. So time trial, 6 minutes, starting from when I press accept. So I've got to hustle and not do damage to the vehicle. I'm going to put it into cab view because I do more damage in third person than I do in first person. Just because it's easier to drive into things if you're trying to look at the wrong side of the vehicle and there happens to be a tree stump or a barrier or something, or a tree. I find it easier to drive in cab view. All drive is on. I've got decent off-road tyres on this. I've got the off-road gearbox so I can get some good traction in low, high range of low. This one feels like it should be fairly easily doable in 6 minutes using this route. The alternative route would be to go through town and then come into the drilling site via the logging camp. But it's not only longer, but I don't think the road's any better either. So I think for me this feels like the obvious route to take. But I've never done this time trial before today, so all-wheel drive back on. that audio glitch again. I have done everything. I've rebooted. I guess the only thing I haven't tried is to uninstall and reinstall the game in Steam. But I have rebooted every device. I was also driving around preparing these vehicles for these time trials, and it was happening even though I wasn't recording, so I know that I can rule out whether it's an issue to do with my recording software or the capture card. I took all of that off the system. I was just playing the gaming PC on its own, and it's strange because it's only started happening today. I've done quite a lot of hours on this game, and it's the first time I've had that particular glitch. So I may end up uninstalling and reinstalling the game to see if there's any corruption anywhere in the game files that's causing it. How are we doing for time? I'm obviously not going to time lapse this. I'm leaving this in real time. Come on, come on. Right, this is the only bad bit of terrain that I don't like. Not too bad though. Each of these contests can be done you can attempt it 3 times. I don't know, I assume that means you can have the XP and cash reward for each attempt. So if you got it down pat, you could do this particular one if you did it 3 times and got 3 times gold completion. That's actually quite a good chunk of XP and money. I'm definitely doing obviously the first attempt, and the first attempt on stream I may sort of time lapse subsequent events. Rather, if I do this 3 times, I won't like record it and play it out on a video in 3 times real time, because that would just be dull. But I may just do the results page, or right, let's get this into high with the diff lock on, just because this is a bit sticky and I don't want this last bit to cause me to fail. The Pacific is still there from its previous job. Unload. Right, 4 minutes 28. 4 minutes 28, that was comfortably a gold. That was fun. My heart's racing a little bit because you never quite know what the time's looking like. But yeah, 4 minutes 28. I thought we would be okay with that one. And like I say, if I can get 3 times that reward, over 1,000 XP, over 10,000 cash, that's really useful. Daylight is coming in, so I'm not going to do the second attempt at that one now. What I'm going to do, because from a map perspective, that's actually complete. I'm allowed to do 2 more attempts, I think. And to be fair, I don't even know how that works, because I don't know whether doing a second attempt would give you the reward, or whether, I don't know, I just don't know how it works. So I'm going to try it, do it, because it's too good a money and XP boost to not do it. But what I'll do now, as we're just early morning, not full daylight yet, is I'm going to come down into the logging camp and we're going to make a second attempt at the other Pinewood Express one that we got a silver on several episodes ago. The comment that I had on this as a tip, apart from saying take off the crane, also suggested putting 2 lots of planks on a trailer in town so that you don't have to stop to reload. But I think I'm going to try it without that this first time and see if I can get a gold, partly because it was the Fleet Star I was in last time when I attempted it and failed, and I really want to see a like-for-like comparison of the Fleet Star with its current upgrades. How does it compare to how it did before? And last time I was 58 seconds over the 8 minutes that you're allocated for that task to get a gold. One thing I am going to do is I'm going to preload the cargo, because I didn't know if you were able to do that when I made the first attempt, so I didn't chance it. But if I come in here and preload 2 lots of wooden planks, let's just check my fuel, because it would be really embarrassing to run out of fuel mid contest. That's fine, I've got enough fuel. So 2 lots of wooden planks, pay to auto load, and then back her up into the contest start box. These are going to be delivered to the same place that we've just been to. But what I am going to do, actually, turn the engine on. Thinking about it, I've left that Pacific there. I'm just going to move it because it's in my target box, and I don't want to have to negotiate around it when I'm turning around to try and get a quick reverse and back to the lumberyard for the second lot of cargo. I'll put it near this trailer, because this Pacific's next job is going to be to tow that maintenance trailer back to Smithfield Dam for one of the regional tasks. So I'll just park it there. That'll be good enough. Attach that up anyway. And then any other vehicle that needs fuel can still come in and reach it. But I'll just leave this here for now, and we'll focus on the contest. So back to the Fleet Star. So we're preloaded. Engine's running. We're in auto. Let's put it into, so to make sure we get out of this sticky stuff quickly. All drive is on. So we got 8 minutes, and again I don't have a timer running, but 8 minutes for our second attempt at gold on this task. Let's go. I don't think we did any damage on the previous contest, so you had a limit of 200 damage, presumably to stop you just driving straight over the river in a mental vehicle of some sort. There's probably a route through there, avoiding tree stumps, that would let you do a drop and rolling turn without having to reverse. This probably would work, but get ourselves unstuck real quick. So unload, unload. Reverse quickly, come on, come on, come on. We'll be messing around with not being able to find reverse. Right, come on. Go, 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 go. So we're in auto, we should be able to get some gears going. Manual shift up. Avoid the sticky stuff as much as I can. So yeah, this one you get 8 minutes, and last time it took me 8 minutes 58. But since then I've got audio glitches galore, which is bloody annoying. Since then I've got race suspension, grippier tyres, bigger engine. Hopeful that this makes the difference. So we're going to drop the next one up in the church in town. See, it's coming up here in auto or without really a problem, and before it couldn't do that. So this feels much faster than it was. Let's not just take it through somebody's yard and crash it on the way. So we're going to cut into the church car park and unload one of them. Without hitting the bollards, because that'll just slow me down. And without hitting escape. And then at least the other thing as well is this time I know where this final delivery is. Last time I hadn't scouted out where the delivery was, so I was kind of following my nose a little bit, but didn't take any wrong turns, but the uncertainty isn't there this time. Right, so flying up the hill in auto. This feels a lot faster than it did last time, but time stretches depending on your stress levels, I think. Gold. 5 minutes 46. That's the difference that the upgrades make, right? So I'm not going to put that down to driving, because I didn't really do anything different other than slightly preloading some cargo. But that probably saved me, what, 10 seconds, if that? But that is more than 3 minutes faster than my previous attempt, and that's engine upgrades. So that's a nice boost to our money. Like I say, I'm going to do those. I'm going to repeat them and do them to the max that you're allowed to, which is only 3 attempts. So I can do the Pinewood Express one once more. Whether I do that off cam or I'll probably record it. I'll probably do it as part of this recording, and maybe just edit in the final time of each of the 3 attempts, but not show the whole race. Okay, so before I go anywhere else, engine off. What time is it? It is still morning. It's a nice time of day. I'm quite nervous about the next one, but I like that. I'm going to jump into the Chevy pickup truck, which is at the start point of the next one. Now, this one, meteorology data, requires a visit to 3 weather stations within 10.5 minutes to get gold. But the twist, if you like, is that you have to remain in cockpit view. So what's the best route for this? I'm just trying to decide. So that's quite the convoluted route to do in 10.5 minutes. I've got a nearly full tank of fuel, and we've got 3 attempts. but I've got to stay in the cockpit. I must remember, because there's two things going to go wrong here. One is that I'll forget that I've got to stay in the cockpit and I'll just tap one and fail the task immediately. The other is that I'll drive past one of my waypoints and go half a map beyond where I need to be. So this one's got a bit of tension to it. Let's just turn off that. We don't need that tracking. It's a distraction. We're going to be doing this one. No truck change, no recovery, no garage, and stay in the cockpit. 10.5 minutes. No cargo. This is just a sightseeing tour, but it's a sightseeing tour with time constraints and view constraints. But it's daylight, so let's do it. Let's get the engine running. Check. I'm in auto. I'm in all-wheel drive. I've got mud tyres on. I think that's probably good enough. There is a bit of road on this, and maybe off-road tyres would be better, but I'm not sure if there's any bits of sticky stuff, so I'll stick with the mud tyres. I've got the 5.2 litre engine, so it is a bit thirstier, but I think I've got enough. I've got a full tank of fuel. I won't have it if I sit here talking though, will I? So 10.5 minutes. Again, I've got no timer running, so I'm not going to know if I've succeeded or failed until I get to the last point, but go. And rolling the truck is going to fail me immediately because I can't winch. I can't control my winch. I failed that one immediately because I'm going to have to go into camera. Yeah, failed. Objective failed. Because I rolled the truck that early on the attempt. Oh. So I came, you can see my tyre tracks. I came across. Autonomous winch, get me on my wheels. I came a straight line across that rather than following the trail. And then just rolled. Yeah, I can see exactly the mistake I made. But yeah, that cab view, because you can't see very well past the bonnet, that cab view is a interesting constraint. Because I came over the hill and my bonnet, maybe I was just rushing too much, but my bonnet was obscuring my view and I didn't see the line I was supposed to take. And that will be, I am sure, and I kind of hope, because it would be lame otherwise, that'll be one of my 3 attempts at this con. So that mistake has cost me XP and money. And engine off. Let's just double check. Doesn't say how many attempts remaining unless I actually open the task. So engine on, task, attempts left 2. So it is that's just cost me $3,800, that mistake. Let's go. We're going to try again. I didn't even get off the bloody hill. I'm nervous now. More nervous than I was. So I just went straight here rather than turning left to follow the actual trail because I couldn't see it. So now I've got to focus on the waypoints. Audio glitch. That is getting very annoying for me. That's the White Western Star with the fuel tanker that we need to recover to the garage. So that's the fuel station. And it's parked there precisely for this task, so that I've got a refueling point as close to the start of the task as possible. I'm going to go off-road here. I'm quite nervous now when you get in that situation where you can't see the terrain because your bonnet's up. Yeah, quite nerve-wracking. Because it is a time trial, you can't just dawdle. I have got to put some revs into it. Really, that was a bit of a moment. I perhaps should have scouted this beforehand and just made sure I knew the route. But where's the fun in that? Lost the trail. Way, I think. Just trying to glimpse little bits of mud when your nose is pointed up in the air. That's the first one of them done, I think. Try and turn it around without tipping it because I can't see behind myself. Don't want to go off the edge of the mountain. Time to admire the water this time. We gotta go, go, go. So the next one I'm aiming for is on my right, so I just need to make sure I spot the turn. So it looks like hangar right here. No, 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 it's ahead of me, isn't it? Don't do the wrong turn. This trail. backtrack so that I can go back down the same hill. One to go. Dangerously close to tipping a couple of times on this so far. How are we doing? How are we doing for time? It's like a cardio workout. My pulse is going crazy. Hang a left here. Dip lock. Get on the road. Back into also to get some, give it some volume. Right, so it's on my left, and I think I've just, this is probably the waypoint, and I need to turn left and try and weave my way through the trees. And this is definitely something I should have scouted, because it looks like a path, but then it also, at the same time, it doesn't really. So I'm going to whack it into dip lock so we can see the objective. Question is, was our time good enough? We got gold, so we did that in 8, so we had 2 minutes to spare. Bit annoyed at myself failing the first attempt by rolling it within 50 meters of the start location, but yeah, that is all 3 time trials gold. Let's turn my engine off a sec. So in terms of tasks on this map, there's the oil tank, which we've got it parked on the White Western Star here, ready to just haul it round the road and take it back to the garage when we need to. We've got additional attempts at these time trials, but I'm not gonna do that now, because that's not, repeating the same content isn't fun, isn't content. And then in terms of the next objectives, these are all locked. The Dyson Diesel ones are all locked until you've done, there's a dependency there. You've got to do harbour delivery. For harbour delivery, you've got to do instruments, and for instruments, you've got to have done lumber mill and power lines. And those are both in, they're both locked behind other things that have to be done in Husky forwarding. So we're going to be doing Husky forwarding basically. And some of these might require us to come back to Black River to pick up cargo. I'm not entirely sure, but other than that, we're basically done with Black River. We got to do the logging mission eventually, and we've got to return the fuel truck eventually. At the moment, I'm keeping it because it's fuel for me for anything I do have to do on this map. So this is, I'm allowed out of the cab now. This is a pretty good place to leave this episode. Hopefully it was enjoyable, seeing me stressing out over contests. It's quite an adrenaline thing, especially this scout one. I do quite enjoy it. It's quite a neat twist to force you to stay in the cab, but still have to negotiate that twisty, turny, bumpy ground. Yeah. So I had a lot of fun doing it. Hopefully you enjoyed watching it, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Thank you and goodbye.